In the developing world, thousands of people die each day because they do not have access to clean water and proper sanitation. Each year, millions more are weakened by waterborne diseases. While the people of industrialized countries take the supply of clean water for granted, the women and children of the developing world waste time and harm their health in back-breaking labor, bringing home water which is often contaminated. Even those people who have access to well water are not out of danger, for even the best constructed open well can be contaminated. If wells are sealed and a simple hand pump installed, clean water can be delivered close to the home. However, hand pump technology has not evolved a great deal over the past several decades. Most hand pumps are made of cast iron and were originally designed for single-family farms in Europe and North America, not for continuous use by 200 or more villagers each day. Most people do not have the resources or skills to maintain hand pumps, and they return to polluted water sources when pumps break down. If the rural people of developing countries are going to gain access to clean water supplies, a totally new approach to hand pump technology is needed. In the mid-70s, the Canadian-based International Development Research Centre, IDRC, began a new program of research to design and test a simple but durable pump which could be manufactured in developing countries and maintained by the villagers themselves. A low-cost hand pump made of locally available materials, thus saving on foreign exchange and providing employment. IDRC recognized the potential for the use of plastics in hand pump manufacture because they are readily available in most developing countries. Early design work and the testing of such plastic components was carried out in Canada at the University of Waterloo. This led to a number of IDRC-supported projects in Asia and Africa to further test the Waterloo design and adapt it to local conditions. One such project was based at the Faculty of Engineering of the University of Malaya in Kuala Lumpur. At the university, all parts of the pump underwent rigorous testing. The researchers devised inexpensive testing methods, such as a pressure valve which simulates different well depths. As the pump was modified, each change was carefully monitored and evaluated using modern computer technology. The actual output of the pump under different working conditions was recorded and analyzed. This high-tech research may be somewhat deceiving, for the pump itself is very basic technology and has been known for centuries. A similar hand pump was described in a German mining technology book in 1556. The pump's operation is simple. The piston moves upward inside the cylinder, creating a partial vacuum. The difference in pressure between the inside and the outside of the pump cylinder causes water to be pushed through the holes in the foot valve into the pump, where it is trapped as the valve closes. On its downstroke, the piston valve is pushed open, and water passes through the holes in the piston to the column above. On its upstroke, the piston valve is forced shut by the weight of the water above, and the column of water is raised. Rings on the piston provide a tight seal between the piston and cylinder wall. While the piston valve is open, the foot valve is closed, and vice versa. In the University of Malaya's testing program, new materials and designs were systematically examined. This resulted in an efficient pump with an interchangeable piston and foot valve made of polyvinyl chloride, known as PVC, and polyethylene. In a second phase of the project, the university examined manufacturing and mass production techniques, such as injection molding of the plastic valves and rings. Methods were developed that considerably reduced production costs. Special jigs were made for the accurate assembly of the piston, foot valve, and other components. Similar mass production techniques were devised for the above-ground components, which are made of steel and wood. The university has demonstrated that its hand pump can be manufactured in Malaysia for less than 1/3 of the cost of imported cast iron pumps of similar capacity. But the laboratory testing and manufacturing is only part of the story. Adapting a technology to the developing world involves extensive field tests. In this phase, villagers should be consulted on suitable locations for the new hand pumps. In Malaysia, the Ministry of Health has taken on the responsibility for installing and maintaining the pumps. Inexpensive drilling rigs are used to keep the cost of each installation to a minimum. A crew of 2 or 3 men can easily install a pump with simple tools. After the pump is installed, the well is disinfected. A properly located and constructed well can deliver clean water because the earth acts as a natural filter. Sand is kept out of the water by installing an appropriate screen at the bottom of the well. The university's pump is now being installed in hundreds of Malaysian households, delivering clean water to villagers who otherwise would have to depend on traditional water sources. As the hand pumps are installed, the university is carrying out important surveys on the social and economic factors which will lead to their widespread adoption. The Malaysian hand pump is also being field tested in other countries such as Thailand. When a technology is introduced to another culture, it is important to understand and to take into account the attitudes and practices of the people in order to ensure community acceptance. In Thailand, PDA, the Population and Community Development Association, has begun to introduce the Malaysian pump in the northeast region of the country, where few people have access to safe water supplies. This non-governmental organization has the right philosophy and experience for introducing a new technology to villagers. One of the first steps taken was to familiarize the villagers with the hand pump. Villagers who wanted a hand pump signed contracts and made down payments. Individual, group, and community ownership arrangements were tested to see which worked best. PDA trained village representatives to operate and maintain the pump. Since women are the major users of hand pumps and therefore have a vested interest in their trouble-free operation, it follows that they should be involved in all aspects of the pump's introduction. To help with this, an installation and maintenance manual that can be easily understood by villagers was developed in the Philippines by Kabalikat, a non-governmental organization. It was adapted for use in Thailand and Malaysia. Village women can easily maintain this pump because the piston and foot valve can be removed without using elaborate hoisting equipment or special tools. Because these women live in the villages where the pumps are installed, they know how the pumps are performing. They can routinely carry out preventive maintenance operations, such as inspecting and cleaning the piston and foot valve and replacing worn parts if necessary. PDA is monitoring the effectiveness of this strategy. PDA technicians also keep track of the pump's performance and monitor water quality by carrying out simple bacteriological tests and disinfecting wells that are found to be contaminated. A similar approach to field testing the Malaysian pump has been taken in the Philippines by an organization called the Philippines Business for Social Progress. Too many water and sanitation projects fail because of a disregard for social, cultural, economic, and bureaucratic constraints. To overcome this project involved villagers in the initial planning stages and provided them with appropriate training for installing and maintaining the hand pumps so that they could manage the technology on their own.
And nobody has the sense of responsibility of repairing it. While if we use the scheme of training the technical officers and then the technical officers eventually training the end users, at least we develop the sense of ownership and sense of responsibility. We will also see to it that we will find out the social acceptability. Do you have any questions on the objectives so far?
In addition to the field tests in the Philippines, Thailand, and Malaysia, the pump was tested at the Consumers Association in Britain under the auspices of the World Bank UNDP Global Hand Pump Testing Program. All of this work has led to modifications in design. For example, it was discovered that a brass pin which connected the lever to the piston rod wore out more quickly than expected. A welded joint was used instead. In addition, rubber stops were added to cushion the action of the handle on both the downstroke and upstroke.
Stop. If you go run, I test it, it will not.
However, in Ethiopia and other countries, manufacturing and testing the original pump design has produced very different results. These research projects have shown that designs and materials used in above and below ground components will vary from country to country, depending on the materials and resources available and the needs and perceptions of the people. What works in one country may not be appropriate in another. The Ethiopian Waterworks Construction Authority has retained one of the original ideas, a direct action pump for shallow wells, which eliminates the manufacture and maintenance costs of a lever and bearings. For wells deeper than 12 meters, a simple but sturdy pump stand and lever mechanism has been designed to take the wear and tear of up to 200 users per day. But the most dramatic difference between the Ethiopian and the Malaysian design lies below the ground. Field tests using PVC pistons and pump rods proved unsuccessful, mainly because of the quality of the PVC manufactured in Ethiopia. So the researchers turned to ancient brass technology. Ethiopians have known the art of casting metals for centuries. Local foundries can easily produce the castings for the piston. These are machined into shape at the project workshop. Leather is used as the piston seal, and the foot valve is made of polyethylene. When better quality PVC is manufactured in Ethiopia, perhaps the piston and other components will again be made of plastic. Meanwhile, the Ethiopian project has demonstrated how designs and materials change to suit local conditions. What does not change, however, is the need for community participation. Here, too, village men and women are being taught the basics of hand pump maintenance. Such instruction has benefited from the education campaigns and the increase in literacy in rural Ethiopia over the past few years. The pump's design is simple, and villagers can be taught the basics of maintenance in short courses, followed by individual on-the-job training. The handle, piston rod, and piston can be removed as one piece. Although the stand and riser pipe are made of metal, 2 or 3 people can easily lift these parts to get at the cylinder and foot valve. In Ethiopia, only a small percentage of rural people have access to safe water supplies, and it will be many years before more sophisticated systems of water delivery will be widely available. This hand pump avoids the financial burden of importing expensive foreign-made pumps and the spare parts to maintain them. A good maintenance system is the key to success. And perhaps it is the involvement of women which will determine that success. Throughout these projects in Asia and Africa, women are becoming involved in roles which have traditionally been dominated by men. The pump project in Sri Lanka was designed to demonstrate that the primary users of hand pumps could not only maintain them, they could manufacture them as well. In a remote area of Sri Lanka's dry zone, a small workshop has been established by the Sarvodaya movement, the largest non-governmental development organization in the country. The project was jointly sponsored by IDRC and the Canadian International Development Agency. Here, village women are manufacturing all of the above-ground components of Sarvodeya's version of the hand pump. These women have not had the opportunity to go on to higher education. The project fits well with Sarvodeya's principle of giving people the means to carry out their own development plans, to meet their own needs, and to develop their potential. Organizations like Sarvodeya, with long experience in community participation, show the most promise in solving local water supply problems. Pump attendants are stationed in a number of smaller workshops located in the villages. Here they assemble pumps and carry out preventive maintenance and repairs. The project has also given these women skills which can be used to earn income by making small tools for villagers. Sarvodeya has built its own well drilling rig at a fraction of the commercial cost. It had to be strong enough to penetrate the bedrock found in the area. The Sarvodeya piston and foot valve are made of PVC and brass with rubber seals, once again a departure from the Malaysian and Ethiopian designs. PVC, a lightweight material, is also used to make the other below-ground components, making the pump easy to install and maintain. The Sarvodeya pump handle is built to take the wear and tear resulting from the large number of villagers who use the pump each day. In Sri Lanka, the women also take charge of organizing the community to help in completing the platform around the pump. Once the pump installation has been completed, the old, contaminated source of water can be filled in for good. The Sarvodeya project is having an impact on the role of women in this part of Sri Lanka. Here, young village women have shown their ability to manufacture, install, and maintain a complete system of water delivery. These women also teach the villagers about the proper use of hand pumps and the need for protecting drinking water so that it does not become contaminated. The value of and respect for Sarvodeya's Women of the Hand Pump has increased tremendously in this community. New applications for employment arrive every day. Sarvodeya hopes that it is just the beginning of a much larger program which will allow women to take control of the delivery of safe water in rural Sri Lanka. Since motorized pumps and solar technology will remain out of reach of the majority of rural people for the next few decades, the main source of energy for raising water to the surface will continue to be people, especially women and children. These projects show that low-cost hand pumps can be made in developing countries with locally available materials, providing employment and saving foreign exchange. And if the pump users, especially women, take control of maintaining such simple, durable pumps, they will develop a sense of ownership and responsibility, which will help to ensure an uninterrupted supply of clean water. The burden of these children can be lifted, their health improved, their future brightened.
Isang bagay ay di magagawa, di magagawang nag-iisa. At kung tayo'y magkakaisa, malulutas lahat ang problema. Isang maganda